All right, so we are recording. I don't know if anyone else is going to hop on anytime soon, but welcome to tonight's team call. I am super excited to have Brooke be speaking on our call. It's kind of like a special day because it's like our first time having a guest speaker speak on our team call. So, Brooke, is your last name, do you pronounce it Orchard or Orchard?
Orchard, like the apple orchard.
Okay. So this is Brooke Orchard. She is currently a one-star diamond qualifying coach, and you've been coaching since December, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And she is from Arizona, and she is a full-time speech language pathologist. I hope I said that right.
Yes.
And as you guys see her, she's kind of always at the top of our leaderboard every week. She's a Success Club rock star. She's totally killing it and doing great at this business. And so I'm super excited and honored that she decided to talk to us for a little bit tonight. I know it's Labor Day, and she could be doing something else. It's a holiday. She could be with her husband relaxing, but she decided to talk for us tonight. So thank you for that. So I just wanted to start off, just if you wanted to share a little bit about your story, how you got involved with Beachbody, and kind of who you are, just so that we can kind of get to know you a little bit better.
Sure.
Okay, cool.
So I always kind of grew up in fitness. I was a gymnast for 10 years. And then, once high school ended, then so did gymnastics. It wasn't something that I carried on. I kind of felt lost after that. I would go to the gym and go on I call it the treadmill and the elliptical and just lift, do my bicep curls, my tricep extensions, and that's about it. Like, I just didn't really have any plan to follow. My eating was crap. I ate so much junk food. And I finally started P90X in 2011, and that was the first Beachbody program I had tried. And I didn't really know anything about the coaching opportunity at all. I did the 90 days, and I toned up like crazy. I lost the 10 pounds I had gained in grad school. Within 3 months, I gained 10 to 15 pounds. During that time, I was eating horribly, not working out, just really stressed out. And once I finished P90X, I posted my before and after pictures on Facebook. And that's when Lindsay Krause had messaged me out of the blue and said, have you ever thought about being a coach? And I didn't know her at all. There wasn't really a relationship built yet. And so I think that's why I was kind of nervous about it. I felt like it was a spam. And so I just kind of put it to the side. And then Allison Conradi, she's one of my really good friends, and I've known her for quite a long time, I think like 8 years now. She ended up messaging me around the same time saying the same thing. And I didn't realize that she was on the same team as Lindsay's. And I started, and I kind of fizzled out after the first month of being a coach. I started being a coach in 2012, actually, and I was super pumped about it. Did really well the first month, and I was still in grad school. I was in a bad relationship, and I ended up just kind of falling out of it. And for about 2 years, I was kind of just, I don't know, doing my own thing, didn't think about Beachbody at all. And then the past year, so about 1 year ago is when I started getting the itch again. And I was seeing Allison's posts all the time. And that's around the time that my full-time job was starting. The student loans were starting to kick in. And I just thought there has to be so much more. And I got the itch to get back into it. So I did. It took me probably like 2 to 3 months of going back and forth between it. Poor Allison was probably so annoyed with me. But finally one day I jumped in. I think I was kind of cautious about getting back into it because my husband actually is really into Advocare, and he used to sell it quite a bit, but now he's more just using the products. But I think he more so wanted me to go that route. And in my heart, I just couldn't do it because I've always been a Beachbody girl. I use the Beachbody products, and I don't believe in their products. There's no way that I could have sold it. So I said, just let me do this. I promise you I'll do great. And I haven't looked back ever since I started up. So that's kind of it in a nutshell.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. I had listened to your story first when I rewatched Ty's team recording that you did with her last week. And it's so crazy to think that, sometimes you come into this business and sometimes it's just not the right time for you and you quit and then you kind of re-sign up again. And sometimes it depends on like who reaches out to you. So it's encouraging, I guess you could say, because I've had a lot of people quit on me and you never know if they might come back. Or other coaches that are listening into, I'm sure they've had this happen to them. So basically what I wanted to do, like I had mentioned to you, I just have 3 questions that I wanted to ask you, and then we can just open it up and do like an open Q&A, and like whoever wants to ask anything, if you'd be happy to share whatever they ask. So the first question that I have for you is, how do you produce new emeralds? Because every week you are producing tons of emeralds on your team, and that's something that I'm working on and that I want to duplicate. So how do you encourage, your coaches to rank advance, like right off the bat when they sign up?
Right. Yeah. My goal is to go big with this. And so, it might be difficult for a coach who just wants to do it for the discount or who doesn't really know where they want to go with this. For me, I know that the ticket to my success is if I build a strong foundation below me. And I really highlight that importance of the true income being with your personal team that you grow. And I instill that in my new coaches from day one. The day that I have their GSR, their getting started right call, I really talk about the business, and I don't dive into too much detail about team cycle bonus and all that, but I really do stress the fact that, you get 25% commission, but also where your true income comes into play is when you start to get 2 coaches below you and so on. So it's just a good way of covering the basis, but not overwhelming them too much.
Okay. So what are, when you have someone and you tell that they come into the business and they're this is still kind of question 1. And they tell you, okay, so I want to be a business building coach. So like because when I first got started, I don't know, how did you hit Emerald? Like, did you sign up your spouse or?
I signed up my mom, and then I signed up my husband.
Okay. So do you encourage your coaches to hit Emerald fast to talk to like their closest friends and family members?
Absolutely. If you know that if your family loves Shakeology and they're drinking it already, like why wouldn't they be a coach? And then, I've been building my diamond that makes me a 1-star is actually my husband. So
okay, cool.
I built his account up to diamond. So it's been a second source of income for us. So that's, I didn't sign him up right away, which I kind of regret, but I signed him up pretty quickly. I mean, it was within 3 months of me starting my business, which is still kind of a long time, but it was okay.
Okay, so second question I have, what's your onboarding process for your new coaches? Like the minute someone signs up, what's kind of your process?
I keep this consistent, and I really keep track of where a person is in this process, because when you're adding people, it's easy to get lost on where they are, and then they get lost in the shuffle and they fall through the cracks, and then they end up fizzling out because they've lost that passion, they lost that structure, they lost that guidance from you. So when I get them signed up right away, once they say that they've signed up, they're a coach, they're super pumped about it, I say, awesome, I'm gonna add you to the Diamond Council, which I briefly explain is just a very large Facebook group full of about 900 coaches, and then I'm going to add them to my personal coach page called the Bod Squad. That's just my separate page that I use for free trainings and for my personally sponsored coaches. And then after I add them to my groups, then I say, I normally have a getting started right GSR phone call with my new coaches to make sure that they get started on the right foot. When would work best for you? And I usually like to make that within 48 hours so that it's fresh within their mind and that passion's really there. Because if you wait too long, then it just leaves too much room for them to start doubting things and to start looking in the Diamond Council and the Bod Squad and getting overwhelmed. So I like to get that set up ASAP. And I ask them when works for you. I don't ask them yes, no questions. I really pinpoint when works for you. And then once they're added, once we do our GSR, I tag them in a pinned post that I have in my bod squad. It's kind of similar to what Lindsay Krause has in the Diamond Council, but I've kind of tweaked mine a little bit to make it a little bit more simple, just kind of the way that I want to do things, which is the beauty of this business. It's flexible and we get to do what we want. And I tag them in that pinned post up at the top of my group, and I say start here, and they go through that checklist. And I usually follow up with them within 1 week and have them ask me questions that they have about the start of their coaching experience. So yeah, that's about it.
So for training, are you following Lindsay's 21-day new coach training? Did you simplify it? Did you come up with your own, or like what training are you plugging them into?
Yeah, so for me, I personally went through the Diamond Council. I think there's like 85-ish files in there, and I printed everything off, and I have this binder, and I like literally printed all the trainings off, and I researched like crazy when I started being a coach. And granted, I knew a little bit from 2012, but I had to pretty much relearn it all. So I printed it all off, and I kind of highlighted things that I really find works. I don't do a lot of the extra fluff. I don't focus on activities that take away from what's going to grow my business. I focus on what's simple and foolproof and not overwhelming. I personally was really overwhelmed when I started, and I thought, okay, how can I make this less overwhelming? So that's why I made the bod squad, and I have my own separate files in my bod squad page, documents from Word that I've uploaded with just general topics like how to grow your business or how to brand yourself on social media, just different aspects of the business that people can open up that file, get scripts. I love posting scripts in there. I love posting my favorite training videos from top coaches, just so they can plug into how to work their business and grow fast.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I have tons of notes. You're like a student, yay! All right, so my last and final question, unless I come up with more as we're talking. So what's your favorite leadership book and audio? Like, do you feel that, when you came into this, like, was it scary for you being a leader? Like, is there something that helped you become a leader, or did you just you're still kind of learning day by day?
When I first started, I was really nervous to grow my own team because I personally, believe it or not, have never seen myself as a leader. I even told my husband this when I first started. I was like, I'm not a leader, I'm a follower. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm noticing more and more that I'm a leader, and I didn't know that. So it's kind of cool. And I've learned that I kind of like to do things my way, and I like to have some sort of control, not in a bad way, but I like to really guide people and do what I know works for me in that sense of control. And so for me, I personally love GoPro, and I know that Lindsay highlights that a lot, but it's such a good book. I highlighted so many notes in there, and it has a lot of really good scripts and just how to be a professional on social media. A lot of us, when we first start out, we kind of act in unskilled ignorance and we scare people away on social media, and this book really helps guide you for how to be classy and how to really be genuine and real with people. I highly recommend that. I also love Compound Effect. It just really teaches you that you have to have a long-term mindset, and that little things each day are going to grow and compound over the course of time. It's not going to happen overnight, and I think a lot of people think that this is like purchasing a lottery ticket and they're going to make money overnight. That's not the way it works. You got to work hard. I love listening to YouTube videos of top coaches like Melanie Mitro, Anita Myron, Lindsay Matway, Chelsea Pearson, Bonnie Ingalls, Amy Silverman, Christina Sullins, Christine Dwyer. Those are some that I can think of off the top of my head. I find them to be obviously successful and really raw and real. I also love Chalene Johnson's podcast. It's called The Chalene Show. And I think Christine Dwyer actually just got a podcast up and running too. I haven't checked that out yet, but I'm going to soon. So. And another good book that my husband just brought up was Tweet Naked. I don't know if you've heard of that, but he said it's
like on Twitter.
I think it's just overall guidance for how to maybe help your social media presence. So I'm going to read that one. He said that'd be a really good book for me to read for my business. So I'm excited to read that.
So what was it? You said Tweet Naked?
Tweet Naked. I don't know the author.
Okay.
Right.
I'll just write it down.
Yeah.
All right. So I think that's pretty much what I had for you as far as questions. One was popping up when you were talking, but I should have written it down because I forgot already. Thank you for that. And Sarah, do you have a question? Do you want me to unmute you? Yes or no? No? Okay. Let me see if I can remember what question I had.
Jackie, I have a little bit, I can dive into the GSR a little bit more as to what I do.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that'd be perfect.
So this is part of the onboarding process. I almost see this as an aspect of the onboarding process that a lot of coaches skip over. And I think that I used to shy away from GSRs, but now I find that they are so important because it not only allows them to really feel the passion in your voice and to really get to know the opportunity, but it just really helps lay things out for them, and it really helps them see the potential in this and what you've made of it too. So with the GSR call, I really focus on Success Club and what it is. So I really break it down into English terms because, you know, when you first start, you're like, what is Success Club? And I ask them right off the bat, I say, have you heard of Success Club? You know, what have you heard of it? Have you seen that word being thrown around? A lot of them have, because I recognize my coaches every month for hitting Success Club. So a lot of people do see Success Club posts on my Facebook. I tell them what it is. I say it's Beachbody's reward program. And I say that they reward us based on Success Club 5 and Success Club 10. And I say in English terms, that's helping 3 to 5 people a month get on a challenge pack. And then I say a challenge pack is a workout program in Shakeology. And a challenge pack sold is worth 2 Success Club points. So you help 3 people, that's 6 Success Club points. Help 5 people, you know, times 2, that's 10 Success Club points. And I tell them that they will hit their goal if they host monthly challenge groups. And Beachbody rewards us with prizes, money, trips, a free ticket to Summit if you hit it in your first 3 months, which is huge. I really highlight Summit in my GSR calls. And just really telling them that it's been proven that those who hit Success Club consecutively every month are pretty much guaranteed to grow their business and maintain a stable income with it. And then I also ask them what questions they had from the webinar. I always send coach prospects a webinar. I love Lindsay Krause's 30-minute webinar. You can find it in the Diamond Council file. I think it's under trainings and webinars or something like that. And I ask them what questions they had about it, what they liked best about the video, so that it sparks up positive feedback. And answer those questions very briefly. I ask them what their short-term and long-term financial goals are. And I really make it known that in order to make it in this business, you have to have a long-term mindset, and that your reason why you're doing this business has to be so deep that it basically brings you to tears. And I remind them that, you know, I'm not perfect. You know, there's days that I'm not feeling well, or I'm crabby, I'm tired from my full-time job, and I'm just not wanting to do my power hour. I just do it anyways. And it's because my why is so deep. It's on fire. Like, I never stop because of it. So those are kind of the basic things that I go over in the GSR. I try to focus on asking them questions to really get a feel for where they are at in this process. And a lot of the information can be found in the checklist. And so I always just kind of refer them to that, to just remind them, everything's there for you. Ask me questions as you keep going or as you get started.
Okay. So now I remembered my question. So I know that you said that you're a huge advocate of GoPro, and I am too. So my question for you is, because I know that you help, I think, between 10 to 15 people or more a month get on a challenge pack, which always puts you at like Success Club 20, 25, 30, which is awesome. So my question is, are you helping people get started strictly online, or are you getting on the phone with them like GoPro teaches us?
Not really. I go on social media. That's something that I used to struggle with when I first started as a coach. I was being pulled in all these different directions, try and be more personable, send them thank you cards, that's all great. But when you're reaching out to the amount of people that I'm reaching out to a lot of people every month. I don't really have time to be getting on the phone with every single person. But that doesn't mean that I'm not making my messages really personable and awesome to them, because I do cherish their time, I cherish their business, and I want them to be a part of this opportunity. It's so much more than just commission for me. And I even send like voice messages on Facebook. I don't know if you guys know about that option, but I like to send those because people can really hear the passion in my voice again, and it makes them feel special. They even comment like, wow, that's awesome, thank you so much for sending me that. So you can give that a try, and that kind of makes up for maybe my lack of phone calls to people. But
I like that. I think you actually wrote back to me one time with a voice message, and I was like, I felt special. Like, I even needed like a coach, and we're like teammates. Like, I felt really special when you did that. So that's a mental note that I need to write down, and I need to practice, because I think it's scary. Like, in the beginning, I used to get on the phone a lot because like Lindsay hammered that on us, but I was just wondering, because like a lot of people, like, that's where we're at. We're on our phones. Like, a lot of people don't like talking on the phone anymore. So I was just curious, because I know that in order to hit the numbers that you do, like, you have to talk to a lot of people. And I was just like, she works full time. I wonder if she's on the phone all the time, like trying to help people get on challenge packs. So, so it's great that you make, you highlighted that you make the messages really personal. So I think that builds trust with people. And so they're willing to just get started with you online. So a phone call isn't needed. And maybe the voice messages that you're sending, I think, is helping a lot too. So that's great. I love that.
Thank you. Yeah, it was kind of nerve-wracking for me at first, because I almost felt bad that I wasn't doing that. But then I think it's safe to say that I'm doing an okay job. And so now I'm like, okay, it works.
Yeah. I'll duplicate that.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think, I know that you spoke about this last week with Ty, but I wanted to highlight it on this call just so that my coaches could hear. I know that this business is a numbers game, and I tell my coaches this all the time, but I know that for me, for the longest time, when I first got started, I would see a lot of coaches hit, like Stephanie Lane, like she's always been like a really strong coach. Like, me and Stephanie Lane got started around the same time. I think we're only like a few weeks behind from like our sign-up dates. And so back then, she was always like hitting Success Club. She was like one of Lindsay's strongest coaches. And so it took me a really long time to finally like hammer it into my brain that it really is a numbers game. If you want to hit Success Club 20, 30, 40 or beyond, like, it's a numbers game. So I know that everyone probably wants to hear, how many people are you inviting either daily or weekly to your challenge groups and to the business?
Yeah. So I shoot for sending a webinar to 10 people a week, usually based on when I'm forming them, when I'm building a relationship with them. As I'm hearing about their work life or their family life and they're expressing a need, then I usually, keep that in the back of my mind. And then eventually, say, since you mentioned that you want to spend more time with your family, etc., have you ever thought about doing what I do as a coach? If I sent you a video, would you be willing to watch it? GoPro has awesome scripts for that. It's all about the wording. It's all about the follow-up. It's all about how you present it and what questions you ask. So GoPro, I hate reading, but I highly recommend it. And as far as inviting people, I probably invite, oh my gosh, probably a good 40 to 60 people every month to a challenge group. And I try to reach out to about 5 to 10 new people a day on Facebook. And I'm constantly adding new random people to Facebook as well. So just constantly adding so that I know no matter what, I have people to talk to. I have invites to throw out there. If you're not starting new conversations, you don't have anybody to invite. And if you think that you can invite to a challenge group without building a relationship, it's not going to work. So that's my biggest.
As far as like the 40 to 60 estimate that you gave, reaching out to inviting monthly, I know that form is huge, but I just want my team to hear this. How long do you think it typically takes you with like the amount of invites that you're sending out to actually get to the invite? Like when you're forming people, because it's all done via message.
Right.
Does it take you like the full month, or I don't know if you kind of understand the question.
No, I get that. Yeah. I would say, it really depends on the person. I just kind of I get a feel for each person as I'm talking to them. But I usually like to cover different aspects of their life. Even if they're not asking questions back to me, trying to learn about my life, I'm continuously asking them questions about theirs. So I'm constantly ending each message with a question and getting to know them about their family, their occupation, their work life. And I would say maybe like a week or two before I send out an invite. Sometimes sooner, depending on if they ask me about my fitness journey or they ask me about a video they saw on Facebook, then I might be more apt to kind of dive into it a little bit faster. But again, I don't jump on people. So just because they like ask about my coaching does not mean that I just word vomit on them. I just continuously ask them questions to get to know them more. And that makes them feel better too. They are kind of like, wow, like you didn't use this opportunity to like blow Beachbody all over.
Yeah.
So I'm really cautious about how I'm talking to people on social media. Definitely.
So I have one last question, then we can wrap it up. So what is your favorite way to invite? Do you use like, have you ever considered, or do you use like, I have, my next challenge group is coming up. Are you interested, or like, how do you invite people?
Yeah. With the challenge group, I usually say, hey, not sure if you'd be interested, but I am hosting a challenge group on so-and-so date. I kind of change it up every time, but, would you be interested? Just kind of keeping it short and sweet. Or not sure if this is something you think you could commit to, but I just kind of change it up. I just really make it sound like I am excited about this opportunity and that I have a lot to provide for them, but I also kind of leave it up in the air for them. So I'm not giving them like a yes, no answer, forcing them to kind of make a decision there, opening up doors for them to want more information, basically.
Okay. That was great. Sarah, now that you heard her talk a little bit longer, do you have a question or no? Now's your chance. No? Yes? Is that a yes or no? No? Okay. So I think that wraps it up for us, Brooke. I seriously took a lot of notes, and I love learning from you, and I love learning from, other coaches, and I'm so excited that you were like our first guest speaker. That was super exciting.
Yeah, thank you.
So you and honor you for hopping on today, because I know that it's a holiday and you still made time for us. So thank you.
You're welcome.
And yeah, I think we'll wrap it up here. This is recording, so I'll hit stop recording, and I can send you over the recorded version, and you can share with your team if you'd like. But I think that's it. We'll wrap it up here.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you for hopping on. Okay. Have a good night.
You too. Bye, guys.
Bye.